is which statement about the theory of acid and bases is correct? Water can act as an acid or a base. Is that correct?
No. Yes.
Here's water. Water could lose an H+1, right? So that
Okay, yeah.
plus water's got lone pairs and it can gain an H+1 as well. In that case, it's going to become H3 or +1. So it can actually do both. Remember, water is amphoteric. It can actually do both. I said that's why bases and acids, they both dissociate in water, because if you add an acid to water, the acid ionizes because the water is acting as a base. If you add a base to water, the same thing happens. The base accepts H+1, so the water is the one that ends up losing H+1 ions. I say anyway, sulfuric acid does not behave as an acid when dissolved in ethanol. Sulfuric acid, when does it dissociate? In what medium would it dissociate?
Water.
Because so normally it's going to dissociate in water, right? It's not going to dissociate in ethanol. Normally, it's just water that they dissociate in, because water is highly polar. So 2 is correct. Does not, yeah. The ammonium ion acts as a base when dissolved in liquid ammonia. I mean, you got the ammonium ion, right? Ammonium ion was this thing. It's NH3. Plus the N has lone pair, so the H+1 gets attracted to it, right? So that's an ammonium ion. Can it act as a base?
No.
Because it can't gain more H+1 ions, so that's wrong. So 1 and 2 both are correct. That's the next one. You got 2 reactions going on. The hydroxide ions are neutralized by the acid. You see? He's saying which of the following statement helps to explain why tooth enamel is this thing. He's saying, why does tooth enamel dissolves more readily when saliva is acidic? So why does it dissolve in acidic conditions?
Is it number 2?
What about the first one? If the conditions are acidic, the hydroxide ions are neutralized, right?
Yeah.
So the OH ions they decrease. तो क्या होगा? Where would the equilibrium shift?
Towards the right.
So it's going to dissolve, right? So when the conditions are acidic, that's one of the reasons why it's going to dissolve, right? Then 2 is not right, because I said, I mean 2 is right? I mean, at least it's a factual statement that if the conditions are more acidic, where would the equilibrium shift? Backwards, right?
Yep.
So how does that help tooth enamel dissolve? I mean, how does it help it in dissolving? Any idea?
So for the second reaction, it would shift backwards.
Yeah. So how does the second reaction affect the first reaction? Like, how does it help in, how does it make tooth enamel dissolve?
Because there'll be less of the phosphate ion. It will decrease.
it's going to decrease, it's going to move forward, right? So that's why. Calcium ions react with acids. I mean, they don't. I mean, calcium ions will not react with acids because, I mean, we've never studied any reaction with calcium ions. I mean, firstly, they're both positive ions, so they don't have anything to do with each other. So calcium ions are not going to react with acids.